building up the rhythmical clapping. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Some 15,000 people inside the centre court at Flinders Park. They're playing for a first prize of 480,000 Australian dollars. That's roughly 240,000 pounds. The runner-up will get half of that, although frankly that is the least of their concerns right now. They won't have thought about that money at all. Pete Sampras was saying in Munich that he really hopes that the huge improvement that Agassi has made in the last 9 months or so will continue, and that theirs will be the sort of rivalry that tennis needs. The sort of, he sees it very much as a Borg-McEnroe rivalry, with him, the Iceman, and the cool, calm, supreme player against the extrovert, the oh-so-talented and sometimes volatile Agassi. Although in this fortnight, admittedly, he hasn't been pressed. Andre has been so remarkably concentrated in his matches. Pete Sampras to serve, the start of the 1995 Australian Open final.
Sampras actually won the spin of the coin.
Crowd clearly intent in enjoying themselves. Why not?
Well, he hasn't looked to approach behind a second serve yet, and frankly, I think he's right. Unless he really hits the serve well, I think approaching is pretty pointless.
He's only got one first serve in as well so far, and that was the ace. Delena Mulcahy, Pete Sampras' girlfriend, with a broken arm. Really has been a traumatic time for Pete. But he'd be pleased to have got his opening service game under his belt. 1-love, first set to the #1 seed. Andre Agassi examining a new set of tennis balls. 3-4, no breaks of serve, no break points so far in this opening set. Final of the Ford Australian Open.
Well, the improvement here for Sampras against Agassi is that Agassi is not looking to direct every ball virtually at Sampras's backhand. So Sampras's forehand side very much more in play in this match than it was against Courier and against Chang early on. That's a great help for Sampras.
Version 15.
Or at least it should be.
Yes, the tactic which Agassi started with here and which Chang used a lot was a lot of balls to the Sampras backhand, then looking for the opening to the forehand side, and then he'd run around his backhand, Chang and Courier, and play a big one down to the Agassi, to the Sampras open space.
Well, terrific depth from Agassi, surprising his opponent.
14-15.
Well, a bit tough when your best ground strokes are thundered back at you.
4-all.
And if you're looking for any pointers, so far Sampras has conceded 6 points on his serve, Agassi 4. But the game score is what matters, 4-all. He's missed it.
15.
Yes, I think for a minute he was admiring his return and just left his running here just a fraction late. Because had he got there with a foot more time to spare, he would have had him. As it is, a difficult shot for the double-hander to make on the run.
Not enough on the high backhand volley here from Sampras. Hit it very short inside the service box.
Yes, he knows that's where he's meant to hurt Sampras. Sampras acknowledges that Agassi is one of the best players of his serve. Anybody that stands on the baseline and hits it early makes it more difficult for him to get the swinging angle that he does.
14-15.
Agassi 1 year older than his opponent at 24, from Las Vegas, of course. Pete born in Washington, D.C., now living in Tampa, Florida. That's a great return because it was a kicking serve. He really had to stretch for it.
14-13.
Yes, you don't often see Agassi have to play one of these. Bouncing up higher than his head. Rebound ace, of course, as it heats up, bounces more.
Deuce.
First juice of the match. Followed by a 6-ace.
Well, he hasn't averaged 6 aces a set yet in all his matches, so he's up for this.
Agassi pointing. He thought it was wide as well, and we did.
Juice.
Third double fault. Applause from Brad Gilbert as Andre Agassi has the first break point of the final. What a brilliant rally from Sampras.
Well, in the past, of course, one of Sampras's problems is that he doesn't have power on both sides, so really rising to the occasion here of break point, finding it on the backhand side.
No. Well, it's been called good, but I am convinced that is wide. Absolutely convinced that's wide. And so Sampras.
Yes, I thought it was out. Perhaps not as far out as that, but...
I thought it just got the edge. Here it looks good.
Well, that's Wayne McEwen's verdict. I have to say that it's not one I share, but his is the opinion that matters. Second break point.
Thank you. Juice.
Sampras is really coming up with some stunners here. I was going to say when you least expect him to, but that's not true. You may not expect the shot, but at that stage of a match, one does.
Yes, it really is extraordinary how these top players can produce their best tennis when they need it most.